The state government on September 10th as the situation worsens. Following a 24-hour ultimatum from student bodies demanding the removal of the Director General of Police and increased security measures, massive protests have erupted in key areas like Ema Kaitel, Kakwa and Lamlong. The protests turned violent in Kakwa, with security forces responding to stone pelting and catapult attacks. Rapid Action Force personnel have been deployed using tear gas and rubber bullets to control the crowds. Despite protective barriers being set up, tensions remain high. In addition to the protests, the state is also dealing with drone bombings and rocket attacks. Investigations are ongoing and there are reports these cases may be handed over to the National Investigation Agency. We'll now go live to our correspondent Mubashir for the latest updates on the ground. Hi Mubashir, thank you for joining me.
Yes, Naomi.
Mubashir, yes, to start off with our conversation here, Mubashir, can you update us on how the violence, did any violence escalated overnight and then especially in volatile areas like Kakwa, and could you walk us through how these protests initially started and escalated so quickly, and also why Kakwa in particular saw such intense of violence last night, Mubashir? Last evening.
Well, Naomi, the agitation erupted around noon time. By the time the students' deadline expire. After that, the protests happened in different areas, not only at Kakwa, but at different areas. Like in Ema Kaitel area, there was an intense agitation by the student bodies and by other element also. The agitations and the scuffle between the police and the protester was going on for a quite long time till night yesterday. More than 80 people, mostly students, have sustained some or other form of injuries and are all admitted to different hospitals. Right now, curfew has been clamped down in both Impal East and West district, and strict measures have been taken up. The security personnel have formed a ring around the sensitive areas like Ras Bhavan area, Chief Minister's Secretariat, etc. And only a few selected vehicles are allowed to pass through this the high security zone area. Otherwise, acute security measures have been taken up so far since early morning. The internet has been shut down since yesterday evening, and communications, the flow of communication is very low at the moment. The situation remains very tense at the moment. As the day progressed, the protest could erupt any time, with the student bodies forming groups and protesting in different directions in and around Impal City. So the situation remains tense. Yes, Naomi.
All right, Mubashir, like you've just mentioned, around 80 people have been admitted in the hospital. So how is their condition as of now, and are we seeing any new security measures being deployed today, especially after last evening's tensions? And what is the atmosphere on the streets this morning in terms of both civilian activity and the presence of security forces?
As the curfew has been clamped down and all the schools and colleges are closed down. In the early morning time, some people came out to buy vegetables and some essential items. But by the time around 9 a.m., the street look deserted. Nobody is out here. As far as security measures are concerned, the report said that 2 more battalions of CRPF are being called into the state. Around 2,000 more CRPF personnel will be arriving in the state. Other than that, already there is a huge presence of security in the state. RAF personnel, which is Rapid Action Force personnel, which is another branch of CRPF, are being deployed in all the vulnerable locations. They utilizes different, bomb control mechanisms like the tear gas, shelling, and this smoke bomb, all kind of stuff are being deployed. All the mob control mechanisms are being deployed by these Arab personnel. However, protesters resorted to stone peltings and other form of violence in different locations. Entire night there is people came out in large number, and people were burning down one or other things in different traffic islands or in between right in the middle of the roads. So the situation remains tense. However, there is no major, there is no major injury or major casualty at the moment. Even though the 80 people are being admitted to different hospitals, they are said to be in a very, stable situation, as they are, they just, they just became the victim. They just became, being hit by the tear gas shells and rubber bullets, which are, not life-threatening. I must say. By and large, the situation remains critical at the moment. Internet being shut down. When we talk to the people in the street, they said that they feel like it's back to the square one, or it's back to the day last year when the state was going through intense agitations and all those kind of stuff. That is last year during the May, the crisis was at the peak. People are seeing the similar kind of thing at the moment. People are saying that even though the violence in the state it's become almost 1 year, nothing much has been progressed at the moment. The curfew been cramped down, the protests still being going on, and internet, as far as internet shutdown is concerned, it affected badly to the people who are engaged in online activities, banking related services, even online classes. So it affected the day-to-day activity as well as the employment related activities of the state. So people's discontentment is at the highest level at the moment. So anything can happen, because the people when there is so much discontentment in the society, the protest could happen from any corner. Yes, Naomi, back to you.
Mubashir, like you have just mentioned, with the involvement of different security forces and agencies, including the Rapid Action Force and Assam Rifles, has there been a significant part of managing the crisis? So how are these forces coordinating on the ground, and what challenges are they facing? Have there been any talks of opening a dialogue with protesters as well from the authorities?
Well, as far as protesters are concerned, the student bodies, they meet the governor only last night itself. But however, the governor tried to persuade them that even their demands are not solely in the hand of the governor himself. Removal of DGP cannot be executed by the governor alone. It has to be sanctioned by the central government and other stuff like that. But at the moment, they are the governor and the student bodies meet last evening itself. They have a thorough discussion also. But no common ground can be reached at the moment. Student bodies are still saying that they will continue with the protest, all form of protest, and there seems to be no end to the confrontation at the moment. As far as security measures are concerned, other than the central security forces, police is also being engaged in different areas, and all form of this control mechanism, crowd control mechanism being deployed. But when when the protests are happening at such a humongous scale, it is always going to be difficult, because protesters came out from any, unexpected location also. There are many, narrow streets and corners from where, this protester regrouped, and, they started burning things down, they started pelting stones, and, and they started marching. So it's very difficult for the authority to handle this sort of, large-scale protest at the moment. Yes, now, especially.
Right, Mubashir. There's been mention of drone bombings and rocket attacks in the recent days. Can you update us on the current state of investigations and the possibility of the cases being handed over to the national agencies, Mubashir?
Yesterday, we talked to the police department, high-ranking police department officers, and they informed that, about this, rocket propeller being used in the peripheral area, and this, high-tech drone technology being used to, drop this grenade at specific locations. They are seeking the expertise of these NIA officials, and they will in fact they have procured some anti-drone machines also in just recently. So that is what the state government and the police department is saying. But on the ground, people who are actually living in the nearby this hilly terrain or in this peripheral areas, the people have become quite insecure, in a sense that anytime violence could break out, anytime this drone bombings and this rocket could came from any direction. So the people in those areas are unsafe, and they feel insecure at the moment. So there is also one reason why the protests have been escalated to such extent at the moment, because people are totally dissatisfied with the kind of handling the state government and the central government have been doing in the state so far. Because the crisis is already more than 13 or 14 months old, and still new form of assaults or new form of confrontation are being happening between the two sides, like this drone bombing and this rocket propeller being used, or the other day there is a confrontation between two sides at the Ziriban side also. There is the report of some people individuals being killed, etc. So the people are expressing their anguish and frustration also, because the government failed to protect the life and properties of the individuals. So it is bound to happen. Yes, Naomi, back to you.
Mubashir, now with the internet suspension back in place, how are the authorities trying to coordinate with the protesters, and also how are they responding to the protesters as well?
For the government, they have the access to the internet for the government machinery and their different department. I think they will their line of communication is always open. But at the moment, the unexpected natures, all the protests is what government are dealing with. At the moment, the protests could normally what is as a trend. Normally, what is happening is most protests usually begin from noon, and as the day progresses and as during the night time, it increases to extreme level, and government are also making sure that as they try to control the mob and the crowd, they in the process they do not hurt not many people, or not many people got sustained injuries in the process, because once this it can only backfire to the government at the end of the day. The protest is at the moment it's very unorganized, in a sense that it can come from any side, and even though the government the first this Kokomi people, they declared this public emergency. Later on, they suspended this public emergency, and then these student bodies take up the issues, and they try to meet the government, and they have in fact met the governor also, and they have met the chief minister also. However, even the chief minister and the governor, there are certain demands which even chief minister or the governor could not decide on their own. They need central government approvals all the time. So the situation remains critical, and the state had come in the backlog kind of a thing, stalemate kind of a thing. It is neither going to one direction or not coming back to other direction. So the stalemate continues. Yes, Naomi.
Right, Mubashir. So with the ultimatum already expired, do we expect any significant developments today in terms of demands for changes in leadership, and how crucial is today in shaping the next phase of this conflict?
It's a crucial day. I must say, Naomi, it's a crucial day in a sense that if the government could somehow manage to calm down the violence and bring down the violence and protest, we could hopefully come back to normalcy. Otherwise, it could backfire, and it could the situation could deteriorate very quickly from here. So it's a crucial day. But since morning, I'm seeing that huge security apparatus are being set up. All the measures, street and square particularly in Imphal areas have been manned by huge number of central as well as the state police, state security personnel, and most of the important routes have been barricaded by huge number of security personnel. So it will be difficult for the protester to reach the sensitive area with the kind of mechanism they have created. But in the outskirts area, the violence could still happen, and we need to see how everything came up. Yes, now.
All right, Mubashir, thank you for your updates. You stay safe, and we'll be connecting to you more on these updates as well. So, it's clear that the situation in Manipur remains highly volatile at the moment, with both the protests and the security response intensifying. Well, the internet suspension has added another layer of complexity, making communication and coordination even more challenging for both the public and the authorities. So as we continue to monitor these developments, we hope for a peaceful resolution to the unrest. For now, this is all. For more news and updates, keep watching Hornbill TV.